What if the sweet treat you're craving isn't just satisfying your taste buds, but quietly rewiring your brain? From soft cookies to candy bars, sugar seems irresistible. But have you ever wondered why it's so hard to say no? What if the answer lies deep inside your brain's chemistry? Today we're uncovering the hidden science behind your cravings. Get ready, you might never look at dessert the same way again. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe, and click the notification bell so you never miss our weekly videos on brain health and smart aging. Your support helps us create content that keeps your mind sharp and your body strong. Most people know that sugar is everywhere, but few realize just how deeply it affects the brain. Today we're uncovering the surprising science behind why your brain lights up when you eat something sweet. From reward circuits to chemical cravings, we'll explore how sugar influences your focus habits and even your long-term brain health. So if you've ever struggled to resist dessert, this video will help you understand why and what you can do about it. Sugar often gets a bad reputation, but the truth is, it's not all harmful. In fact, your brain needs glucose, a form of sugar, to function properly. It fuels mental activity, supports focus, and keeps your brain alert. But here's the problem. The kind of sugar we consume today is highly processed, hidden in everyday foods, and consumed in far greater amounts than our bodies were designed to handle. Let's explore how this sweet substance interacts with your brain, both the good and the not so good. Point 1. Sugar is hiding everywhere. When most people think of sugar, they imagine desserts, cakes, sodas, cookies. But sugar has found its way into far more than just sweets. It's in pasta sauces, low-fat yogurts, cereal bars, bread, even salad dressings. What makes it tricky is that sugar hides under many names: glucose, sucrose, fructose, corn syrup, maltose, agave nectar, the list goes on. Food companies use sugar to make products taste better, last longer, and most importantly, keep you coming back for more. On average, Americans consume over 75 grams of added sugar per day, more than 3 times the World Health Organization's recommended limit of 25 grams. Even when you think you're eating healthy, chances are your brain is being subtly stimulated by hidden sugar. This constant exposure starts a powerful cycle of dependence that isn't just about your tongue, it's about your brain's chemistry. Point 2. Sugar hijacks the brain's reward system. Once sugar hits your tongue, it activates sweet receptors that send signals to the brainstem and onward to your cerebral cortex. But what's really fascinating is how sugar lights up the brain's reward system, a network of regions like the nucleus accumbens and prefrontal cortex that control motivation and pleasure. This system is wired to help us remember what feels good and encourage us to repeat it. That's why the first bite of chocolate cake feels so satisfying. Your brain is saying, "Do it again." Sugar stimulates this reward circuit in a way that's surprisingly similar to substances like nicotine or alcohol, though to a milder degree. It's not about willpower, it's about neural wiring. Your brain remembers sugar as pleasure, and that memory shapes your cravings moving forward. Point 3. Dopamine, the craving chemical. Dopamine is your brain's feel-good chemical. It plays a key role in motivation, learning, and yes, addiction. When you eat sugar, your brain releases a surge of dopamine, making you feel good temporarily. The more sugar you eat, the stronger this loop becomes. But here's the twist: if you eat sugar regularly, the brain starts releasing less dopamine over time, requiring larger amounts to feel the same reward. This process is called tolerance. It's the same mechanism seen in people with drug or alcohol addictions. Your brain adapts and craves more. That's why one cookie becomes 3. And it's why quitting sugar can feel so hard. It's not just about taste. It's about a deeply ingrained chemical habit. Sugar hijacks the system designed to help you survive and turns it into a loop of constant craving. Point 4. Why broccoli feels boring. Ever wonder why vegetables don't feel as satisfying as sweets? That's not your imagination, it's your brain's design. Healthy foods like broccoli, oats, or beans don't cause significant dopamine spikes. They provide nutrients, not emotional highs. Evolution played a role in this. Our ancestors needed to recognize calorie-dense foods for survival. Sweetness indicated energy, and the brain rewarded that with pleasure. In today's world, however, we're surrounded by hyper-palatable foods that exploit this primitive system. That's why kids naturally reject broccoli but beg for candy. The reward system is more activated by sugar than by nutrients. And over time, exposure to super sweet foods makes healthy options feel dull, leading to poor dietary choices, not because they're bad, but because they can't compete neurologically. Point 5. A little sugar. Not the enemy. Let's be clear, sugar isn't evil, and eliminating it completely isn't necessary or realistic. Your brain requires glucose for energy, a small dessert at a celebration. That's not a problem. The issue arises when sugar becomes a daily coping mechanism, something you reach for out of habit, boredom, or stress. When sugar becomes your emotional crutch, your brain learns to depend on it, not just for energy but for comfort. This repeated stimulation rewires your reward pathways, making it harder to find pleasure in real whole foods or non-food rewards. The key is awareness and balance. Understanding how sugar works in your brain puts the power back in your hands. You can enjoy it mindfully rather than mindlessly and protect your long-term brain health. Now that you understand how sugar can quietly rewire your brain from subtle cravings to full-blown dependence, it's time to take a step back and reflect. The goal isn't to fear sugar, but to recognize its power and choose how to use it wisely. So before we wrap up, let's quickly summarize what we've learned and, more importantly, how you can apply this knowledge to protect your focus, memory, and long-term brain health. It's important to remember that sugar in itself is not the enemy. Your brain depends on glucose to function. It's the primary fuel that keeps your neurons firing and your thoughts clear. A little sugar from fruit, whole grains, or even an occasional dessert is perfectly fine. In fact, completely cutting out sugar may not be realistic or even healthy for most people. The real danger lies in habitual overconsumption, especially from processed and hidden sugars found in packaged foods. When sugar becomes a daily crutch used to cope with stress, boredom, or low energy, it starts to retrain your brain's reward system, dulling your response to natural pleasures and creating a loop of constant cravings. The good news: you don't need to eliminate sugar to protect your brain. What matters is mindful consumption, knowing what you're eating, when and why. By becoming aware of sugar's effect on your brain, you gain the power to enjoy it intentionally, not impulsively. That way, sweet treats stay just that, a treat, not a trap. Life teaches us that the smallest things can have the biggest impact, like a kind word, a morning walk, or even a spoonful of sugar. At first glance, sugar seems harmless, even joyful. It sweetens our tea, livens up birthdays, and brings back warm childhood memories. But science gently reminds us that sweetness, if taken too far, can quietly change how our brain works, making it harder to think clearly, focus deeply, or feel satisfied without it. As elders, we have the wisdom to look beyond the moment. We've seen how habits, good or bad, shape not just years but quality of life. So the real lesson isn't about giving up what we enjoy. It's about choosing what truly serves us physically, mentally, and emotionally. Eating mindfully becomes an act of respect for the body that has carried us and the mind that still guides us. In the end, it's not about fearing sugar, it's about understanding it. And in that understanding, we reclaim the power to protect our clarity, our calm, and the joy of being fully present for the people and moments that matter most. We're truly grateful you spent your time with us today. If this message touched something in you, whether it was a new insight or simply a gentle reminder, you're not alone. Every small step we take to understand our brain, our habits, and our health is a step toward a more mindful, meaningful life. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What stood out most to you, and how might you bring that wisdom into your daily life? If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest content. Your support enables us to continue creating content that informs and inspires. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.